Did you know that no two zebra stripe patterns are the same? They are completely unique like the human fingerprint. Anyway, I found these two Zebra Jaspers at the zoo. Hello everyone, my name is Sivana and welcome to my studio. Today we're talking about more gem characters for the story I'm writing and making into a comic that is loosely inspired by Steven Universe. I have mentioned the Zebra Jasper twins in a couple of other videos, so I've decided to finally reveal them. Give this video a like, share it with your friends, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all of that cool stuff that me and YouTube like, and consider checking out my newly updated Patreon. A special shout out to my newest patron, the illustrious illustrator Tamara Springberg. Stay tuned until the end to see her up on stage with me. Now, let's just get into the drawing. Like I said, I found these two little tiny Zebra Jaspers at the zoo a few years ago. There was a gift shop where you could get as many gemstones as you could fit into this little bag for only $7. So of course I stuffed that thing like crazy that it wouldn't even close properly. But these two really stuck out to me because they were the same gem, roughly the same triangle shape, but had very different patterns. I knew immediately that they were going to be twins. I have a goal of making a character out of each gemstone that I actually own, which is a lot, but it is really fun, so whatever. I'm also eventually going to make a roster for all of the main and side characters that are important to the story. Anyway, I just love the idea of having twins in this little world that I made, so in case you're new here and have no idea what I'm talking about, consider checking out my gems playlist over on my channel to get more info on what's going on with this story. But for a quick recap, I am making my own little world of gems that is inspired by Steven Universe, where I have 3 planets of various magical gemstone humanoids with minor differences. These Zebra Jaspers are from Zoldos, the main planet in the story, where there are usually only ever one of each gem. But these two are a special case. So gems in my universe are made by the planets, which are essentially their gods. And on Zoldos, they come out of a geode egg that falls from the branches of Mother Tree, who is basically the embodiment of Zoldos. And these two Zebra Jaspers, named Ebony and Ivory, came out of the same geode egg. The thought is that during their creation or incubation process, the single gemstone was split apart, and so 2 gemlings were created out of the halves. And then when they fused to become the TRUE Zebra Jasper, it is basically what they would have looked like if they had stayed one gemstone. Ebony is on the left and Ivory is on the right. I just really love those names for twins. I love opposite names for twins. For their designs, I knew I wanted the two to be pretty small, though they're not technically children. Technically, they are older than Jade since they were the last gems born before her. Gemlings come out of their geode egg fully formed physically, but they do still sort of have the mind of a child for a little bit until they are taught more. Mother Tree Zoldos essentially programs all the gemlings to have some innate information, like how to breathe and walk and think for themselves, and they know what some things are called. Mother Tree then gives them their gemstone identification, but does not assign them an actual name or gender. Each gem comes out with a seemingly random preset body plan, be it male or female, short or tall, or whatever else, though they can choose how they identify later. So with Zoltanite, she came out as a male gem, but identifies as a girl. Ebony and Ivory came out female, but Ebony identifies as mostly non-binary, so she goes by she, they. This is important because on Zoldos, a lot of the female gems are very sexist toward male gems. They think that everyone who is born from Mother Tree should look just like her. So when a gem comes out and they don't have the traditional feminine features, a lot of women tribes will turn them away. The planet is basically segregated to the women living on the east side of Mother Tree, and the men are exiled to the west. Zoldos is a big planet, but her physical form that is Mother Tree is in this giant crater in the center of the planet, with the rest of the continent spreading out from around her. However, not all of the women tribes are like this, and some will still take in non-binary or trans gems. The beast gems are especially chill about this since they are already their own little subspecies of gems. So say, if the twins weren't chosen by the beast tribe, only Ivory would be allowed in most other tribes since Ebony is non-binary. Gender identity is going to be a big theme in this story, and how the main characters break the status quo and societal norms. While on the topic of tribes, I say chosen by the beast tribe because when a new gem is going to be born, all of the elders of every tribe, male or female, are notified by some magical sign from Mother Tree. The elders then meet in a council and decide where the new gemling will go based on which tribe they believe the newborn is best suited for. The male and female tribes do not come together this way, so there is usually one of each that goes to the hatching to see which the newborn will be. Male gems also take in non-binary gems, since the women turn them away most of the time. So, for example, when Jade was about to hatch, all of the elders were notified that a Jade would be born. They then gathered up, and Emerald, the elder of a tribe called Whim, was decided to adopt the new gem, essentially. However, on the other side, Elder Wood of a male tribe was chosen. The tribes then send out an envoy of sorts, if not the elders themselves, to go retrieve the newborn. So Elder Wood sent out Turquoise to retrieve the newborn if they were going to be male, and Emerald herself went to do the same, but with some added guards. So when Jade popped out and Mother Tree was like, hey, how do you identify? And Jade was like, I don't know, man, I've been alive for 20 seconds. She did eventually decide that she identified more with Mother Tree as a woman. So when Elder Emerald came up and saw Jade being cozy with Turquoise, she freaked out and was like, absolutely not, and took Jade back to the tribe. So yeah, that's how that works. Kind of like house selection at Hogwarts, but a lot more complicated and sexist. Also, most of the tribes choose to adopt the newborn based on what color they will be. So if a blue gem was about to hatch, chances are higher that a blue tribe will take them in. They just really like color coordination, but there are some tribes of many colors, like Whim, the one that Jade goes into. They're mostly green, but have a variety of other colors, because I said so. Anyway, back to the design. I decided to make the little ones first since their designs would dictate what the fusion would look like, so you know, the normal process. I really wanted to play around with their patterns. Vitiligo is so cool and interesting to me, so I took these stripes and splotches from the Zebra Jasper gemstones to help guide how I wanted to incorporate the vitiligo on each of them. I also wanted them to have poofy hair, but I didn't really decide on a style until later. I then had to figure out their personalities. I like when twin characters are opposites in some way, so Ivory is very extroverted and energetic, while Ebony is more introverted and chill. I didn't really know what I wanted to do for their clothes, so I kinda just did whatever would make their color scheme look cool with the alternating black and white. I didn't want to give them actual zebra stripes because that's not what my actual gemstones look like, and it also felt a little silly to me. These two are also part of the beast gems, who are gems named after various animals, but unlike other beast gems, they do not really share any animalistic characteristics with zebras aside from their color. I just did not know how to incorporate a horse into their designs, and I really didn't want to. The closest thing is Ebony having a ponytail. I did place their gemstones on either side of their head, so the fusion kind of looks like it has little horns or ears. I gave the fusion mostly a mix of their outfits, with the little zebra striped belt as the only thing I could think of to allude to actual zebras. The fusion is simply known as Zebra Jasper, or just Zebra. I suppose I could have given her a mohawk, or given them a mohawk, since that's kind of what zebra hair looks like, but that was silly. Anyway, they are the closest thing I have to a permafusion like Garnet. They do split up sometimes when the twins want to do different things, but for a majority of the time they are fused together. For the color schemes, I wanted Ebony to have more of this brownish black and Ivory to have more bluish blacks. That changes a little bit later when I redesign their hair and recolor their skin. I changed their hair to be a bit more pointed poofs than the rounded clouds I usually do, to attempt to give them a more natural looking silhouette. I changed the fusion from having two top poofy pigtails to having larger, lower pom-pom pigtails. I just really like pom-pom pigtails, they're super cute. And I did this to show off the actual gemstones, make them more visible, otherwise they get hidden within the hair. I changed the vitiligo from this bright creamy color to more of a pale gray, and completely flipped the colors on Ivory because her having dark patches was just a little weird to me, so she now has the same dark purplish skin with the light gray vitiligo patches. I still wanted to keep the brown and blue accents separated for the twins to differentiate them a bit more, and that ended up making it a little difficult to find the right balance of each for the fusion. Oh, and their heterochromia was really cool to make this like top and bottom heterochromia in the fusion rather than each eye being a separate color. I'm just really happy with these eyes. Another goal I have with these designs is for them all to have unique faces. Even if I sometimes do the same type of nose or mouth, they always end up looking different depending on the shading. I also don't think I've made any of their eyes the same shape or style. Even with the twins, they have different eyelashes to make them distinct. I also want each gem to have a unique gemstone shape, but I don't know how plausible that is going to be because for the faceted gems, there are only so many shapes that I could do. The smooth gems, however, like Jade and now Zebra Jasper, are a lot easier because they can be literally any shape I feel like. Like you can take any shape of rock and polish it down and it'll look cool. I do also want to make a chart of all of the gemstones once the characters are done, just to see them all side by side in like a big grid. I think that would be really heckin' cool. So yeah, here are my adorable little twins, Ebony and Ivory, and their fusion, Zebra Jasper. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and comment telling me what you liked about it. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't already. A big shout out to my current patrons, Tony Brady, Donovan Snyder, and our newest member, Tamara Springberg. If you would like your own little character, consider checking out my Patreon, where for just $10 a month, you too could be up on stage with me. The link is in the description. As always, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.